What's up, everybody? It's your boy Marlon, aka Kakash13542, aka part of the YG Squad, OG Piranha, YG Fish, here with another set of reviews for you. Last week, September 6th, was a big day on three different platforms. We had releases. We had The Little Mermaid drop on Disney Plus. We had Baldur's Gate 3 drop on the PS5, and we had Starfield drop on Microsoft, including Game Pass and PC Game Pass. So let's get right into it. First off, Little Mermaid. I have not seen the film in a very long time. The original film. The last time I remember watching The Little Mermaid was honestly Little Mermaid 2 with Ariel's daughter and that whole sequel, and that was the last time I remember watching The Little Mermaid. I only remembered a few of the songs, i.e., Kiss the Girl and Under the Sea. So going into this movie, I wasn't like going into other Disney movies where it's just like, I know all the songs, I know the character, I know the story. I don't remember most of it. I don't remember much of it. But from what I watched and from how it was adapted to live screen, on screen live action, it was amazing. And it felt like I was watching the original film again, which that's what you're wanting when you want an on-screen adaptation to something that's already been done, like the One Piece live action. When you want something done right, you want it to be the exact same story, just told on a different medium. If whether it's in a book and it's being a TV show, and you want the TV show to replicate the book very well. When it's live action, you want the live action to imitate and adapt the animated version very well, and it is done. It is done very well. It's kind of amazing that that movie took about 5 years in the making because I believe it was announced in like 2018 before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then came out earlier this year. So 5 years in the making of that movie, with filming, production, post production, and all of that. And it shows that they'd put in a lot of work. It was probably one of the best casting we could have ever done for this movie because it wasn't like when you do the Lion King or the Jungle Book, there was a lot of big names that a lot of people knew. There wasn't a lot of big names that a lot of people truly knew going into this. Not like a whole bunch of triple five-star actors and stuff like that going into this movie. And the fact that this movie delivered as well as it did without having that just meant that it was done very well. It was probably one of the best, probably the best Disney musical live action to this day. Holly Bailey's singing is remarkably spectacular. Like if you haven't seen the movie, definitely go watch it. Her singing and acting is on point, and her acting is on a different level of success because she's now going to be in The Color Purple. Just so you guys know, that's how successful she did Ariel. She's now doing Oprah's Color Purple. So just take that into account. But she had to portray a character that couldn't speak. And that means that you have to be very, very well at acting. And you also have to have a skill at nonverbal acting that not every single actor has. One actor who's specifically really good at it is Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is very, very good at acting without words, at nonverbal acting. And Holly Bailey, this was a skill she definitely had obviously before she went, and she portrayed it and showed off that skill very well in Little Mermaid. Again, I highly recommend to watch it. It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it. It felt like the original movie to me, and that's saying something because again, I haven't seen the movie in such a long time that I was a little nervous that it was going to be its own thing. Like I felt like Lion King was its own thing. The only two other live action adaptations that I have seen that are on point on Disney is Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. And now you have Little Mermaid. All three of those are absolutely fantastic and amazing. Again, I recommend to go see that. Alrighty, next we'll be talking about Baldur's Gate 3. I have not put a lot of time into Baldur's Gate 3, but it is one of the best experiences that I've ever had in video games, period, point blank. Absolutely extraordinary. I've never felt like I was interacting with an actual human being. Like the way this game plays, it feels like it's the closest that I could put on a VR headset and interact with somebody like Ready Player One kind of level of interaction with the NPCs. The fluidity of the combat between exploration to combat is done very, very well. It is a turn-based game, so like if you're not into turn-based combat, I wouldn't even put it on because there is no control over like combat. It's all completely turn-based. However, the exploration aspect of the game is amazing. Like it really does play like you would play a Dungeons and Dragons story. Like your party stumbles upon a hole in the ground. You look up and you see that there's a rock precariously held by a thread. One of your party members is an archer. So what do? You take your archer, you go and you shoot it down. And it's then you have a new cave to explore, and now you got to go explore that cave and go kill the people in the cave, and it's very, very fun. You do have to save a lot. It has been a very, very long time since I've had to actively save my video game like every 30 seconds. Like every decision that I make, I save. Every time I go anywhere, I save. Because once your party dies, like that's it, and it works on like a day-to-day basis. So like if you use a whole bunch of spells and a whole bunch of abilities, well, you have to go back to camp that day and rest till the next day to go back on your adventure. So it makes it for a very, very unique experience, and it's a very, very wholesome experience. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had, and it's because every person you interact with feels like a real person. Whether it's an adult, a child, whether it's a tiefling to a dwarf, to a halfling, it literally doesn't matter. It literally feels like you're interacting with a real 3D person who knows how to actually speak and show facial expression and have a conversation with you. It's kind of amazing that this game is on that level of detail. I didn't think games could get to that point without truly needing like it to be like that the whole time, but the fact that like half the game is that experience and the other half is literally exploration and combat. Very, very fun game. Again, it is turn-based, but Baldur's Gate, I highly recommend if you're a D&D fan. All of my friends that have played D&D or have started playing D&D over the years, I recommend that you play Baldur's Gate because you will have fun. And people like me who enjoy the world of D&D but can't get into playing the board game, feels like it's also meant for those kind of people as well because I enjoy D&D, I enjoy fantasy, I enjoy what that all has to offer. However, it's hard for me to put everything on paper and construct everything by imagination. However, it's great to still have that exact same feeling and style in a video game. Like it feels like I'm truly playing 5e paper in hand Dungeons and Dragons in Baldur's Gate. Like it truly does, and I highly recommend. Definitely go play it. Baldur's Gate 3. It's on PC, it's on PS5. So if you have either of those, hopefully it'll come out on Xbox soon. They have to figure out this issue with releasing it on the Xbox Series X and the Series S at the same time, and it's only compatible with the Series X right now. So once they figure out that Series S issue, it'll be good for the Xbox players. All right. Last thing I'll talk about is Starfield. Disclaimer, my Starfield has like crashed like 8 times every time I tried to play it, except for last night when I was actually able to play it for like an hour and a half straight, and it was glorious. So the 3 hours that I've put into this game in the last week is definitely the best Bethesda experience I've ever had. Like I've played Skyrim. I didn't put a lot of time into Skyrim. I put a lot of time into Fallout 3. I put a lot of time into Fallout New Vegas, and I put a lot of time into Fallout 4. So one of my friends has like put over 1,000 hours into all of those combined. I can't say that I put that much time into all of them, but over the years of me playing Fallout 3, I've definitely put over 200 hours into Fallout 3. I put over 60 hours into Fallout 4. So I could say I put about 300 hours into the Fallout franchise itself. I played a little bit of New Vegas, and it was better than Fallout 3, but I didn't own New Vegas at the time, so I didn't actually really get to experience it. But it was every second of it was better than Fallout 3, and I loved Fallout 3, especially fucking Colin Moriarty. Hate that guy. Hate that guy. Hate that guy. All right, but Starfield is it's a space explorer's experience. It's you're part of this. You end up being a part of this space exploration group called Constellation, and you end up basically exploring the stars and expanding the galaxy. There's only very few of you doing it, and the reason that you're recruited into doing it is because you touch this artifact, and this artifact gives you this weird, crazy 2001 Space Odyssey experience that the main character experienced at the end of that movie. That's basically what happens in a matter of seconds. And you're just like, cool. So now that I've been touched by the cosmos, apparently I need to go explore the cosmos. But the act of exploring is fun. Um, I will say it's a faster, more streamlined version of No Man's Sky, but there's a whole story and a whole interaction behind it, and along with, the Bethesda character creation. Like the character creation in this game was amazing. Like I'm gonna tag back a little bit. Baldur's Gate 3 was some of the best character creation I've ever had in my life, but Starfield had some of the craziest like you could build what your character could do. Like, because you always got to pick traits, when it comes to a Bethesda game. You got to pick traits. You got to pick what your character's good at. You got to pick what your character's bad at. But they gave you like about, I'd say 30 options, maybe even like 25 different options. I read them all off during a stream once, and I was like, there's a good 5, 6 of these that I really liked. Because Fallout, it was about maybe one or two perks that I really liked, and then I just kind of just got skills. As opposed to this game, I was like, I could actually see myself being a diplomat. I could see myself being a soldier. I could see myself being a pilot. I could see myself being a scoundrel, like basically a Han Solo character. Like, so you could be all of those things, and then you have customization over your ship. You have customization over the physicality of your character. You have companions and stuff. I really, really like the combat in the game because it doesn't force me to be in first person. Third person Bethesda has always been trash. Sorry, I would just say it. Whenever I played third person in New Vegas, bad. Whenever I played the hours and hours of third person in Fallout 3, bad. Fallout 4 was only in first person. Okay. So I didn't really get much of a third person experience in Skyrim that was well done. This one has a well done third person experience. Like I can actually play the game in third person. Sure, some of the guns they scope in the first person to make it more realistic, to add more accuracy and recoil. Cool, I'm okay with that. A lot of video games do it, but I'm glad that I can actually enjoy the third person experience as opposed to you can turn it to a third person camera like you can in post previous Bethesda games, but your character moved super clunky and you couldn't aim properly, and it was just not a fun experience. And I'm really glad that that was something that they took into account. Was they were like, huh. How can we make third person users experience and enjoy this game? Because we know there's a bunch of people that do it. And I'm glad that they took the time to allow third person players to experience the game. One other great thing about it is I really like how you have to explore the planet. Like surveying is optional, obviously. Like it's a storyline based game. It's not like No Man's Sky where surveying is the game. Surveying is optional. There's a story. You follow the story. You fight against bad guys. You progress your character through the story. You do what you got to do. However, the fact that you can explore these planets as high as you can. Like I ended up going to an area where there was a level 14 character fighting a level 10 beast outside of a cave, and I just started the game. I'm level 1. Like, so I think it's great that they have that in-depth of exploration on your first planet. Like, first planet I go to already has an advanced lock, like most other Bethesda games. Meaning, oh, guess what? I have to return back to this first area. I love when video games make you give you full exploration, and the first area already has locked areas, thus forcing you to then progress the game and then come back to the first area, thus allowing for more exploration. Like they did a really, really good job. I'm hoping to sink my teeth into it more. Again, unfortunately, my game has crashed numerous times. Apparently, that's a problem that not only I've had, but apparently people with high-powered PCs and other Xbox users have had as well. Um, I feel like I'm just going to throw this recommendation out there. If you happen to pre-download a game through Xbox that's available through Game Pass or anything, I recommend if you pre-install it to uninstall and reinstall it again before you play it, because I don't feel like the pre-installed version of the game is exactly the same as the live version of the game. I could be completely wrong in saying that, and it could be a fluke, but when I uninstalled my preloaded version of Starfield and then reloaded it, it worked perfectly fine. I have never had that issue on PlayStation. This is only on Xbox, mind you. But this is one of the first ever games that I had pre-downloaded, pre-ready to go, and on launch day and post-launch day, it had launching issues. And then yesterday, I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, and it worked perfectly fine since. So that might be something that Xbox has to work on, but it is something that I noticed, and I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for anybody who tuned in. If you have any recommendations about what I should play or what I should review and talk about, what I should watch, definitely post in the comments below, and catch you guys next time.